What's up, everybody? Welcome back to DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined by friend of the show, John Rooney. Second time
reunion,
first time in person, though. Appreciate the time. How the last few months treated you since we talked?
They've been good. It's just like it's a wave right now where it's kind of trending up. First 2 months are great. A few weeks to have like a learning process, and you're really happy it happens in the AAA, not up in the big leagues.
Yeah,
that's where the performance happens, and this is still kind of like that developing, like the fine tuning, and right now everything's great.
Awesome. Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was just like helping us to get a glimpse into what life as a AAA baseball player is like. You're in Reno. You're headed to Vegas after this. I think I heard you guys are chartering a flight back to Oklahoma City on the 4th of July. I mean, I know most people watching our show are focused primarily, if not exclusively, on the Dodgers. We don't have any sense of what AAA life is like, I don't think. So what's a road trip like this like?
Well, with the Dodgers, they do it different. It's always like the top notch, top tier. They take care of us. They're doing the charter flight for the 4th of July to get us there. We're going to be tired. And it's going to be like, I forget how many games, 12 games in a row?
It's crazy.
Kind of
Seems like a lot.
But not really like in terms of what it was like before. But it's gritty, but I mean, you're with your best friends, you're traveling, you're playing baseball, so I can't really complain that much.
Do you guys like coming out to the West Coast? Obviously, we've got some warmth, a little bit of humidity, but it seems like talking to some of the guys, they're pretty excited to be out this side of the country.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, it's going to be like 108 in Vegas, though, these next couple of days, but right now it's great. Can't complain. It's a lot of gambling with the guys, but hopefully we're going to be up by the end of the week.
There you go. Well, we talked earlier this season, last year, kind of like a career year for you. It felt like things clicked. It was your first time as a reliever full-time.
Yes.
So what's 2024 been like this year? Now that you've got kind of the 1 year as an exclusive full-time reliever under your belt, you have the confidence of knowing what you're capable of at this level. How have you seen that carry over into this year?
Well, I think 2023 was that year where it's like, okay, everything fell into place. I'm exactly where I need to be, and I'm putting everything where it needs to be. So when things kind of go south, or I'm not really feeling like myself, I kind of go back to that 2023 and see where I was putting the pitches, how I was moving, and it's a nice like milestone to look back at and say, hey, like you're kind of getting out of yourself, like let's slip back or make some adjustments to get back into that full like August, September last year form.
I mean, and I joked with you prior to coming on, like as a reliever, I feel so much sympathy for you guys because like I joked with you, first game of this series, you come in, there's a runner on base you inherit, and there's like what seemed like not a super hard hit ball, but it just happened to find right down the line. And all of a sudden it's a double, and I'm just like, one pitch like that, a couple bad bounces.
And they're playing in. They're playing in with the guy on third base, one out.
So like a couple bad things happen like that, you give up a couple runs. That impacts your ERA for like weeks, if not months. So as a reliever, how do you kind of sort of mentally compartmentalize and say, hey, that maybe wasn't the best luck that I'm going to see, but kind of able to come back the next day or 2 days later and sort of be back to yourself?
Yeah, well, I never want to think of like basing an ERA off of results or just a success, because there's so many things that come into factor with what goes on. There could be so much bad luck, one bad pitch. Like for me, it's just like making sure I'm doing my part, putting the pitch where I need to be, and getting those ground balls. So I'm getting those ground balls with a two-seamer. You live and die by the ground ball. And sometimes they find the hole, sometimes they don't. But as long as you're putting the ball where it needs to be, low and away to a righty, low and away to a lefty in the same spots, you're where you need to be.
Love it. As I looked at this year, strikeout rate up, walk rate down. Those are two pretty big numbers for a pitcher. So have you tweaked anything, changed anything to sort of see those results, or is it more of just some sequencing type thing?
Right now it's just just filling it up, attacking early, and my mentality now is not trying to throw that slider down and away for a swing and miss, just attack and approach and get them 0-2, 1-2, not 2-2, 3-2. Finish them off early and not get into those deep counts. Just get ahead and attack.
Last question. When I look at the roster of Oklahoma City, it's such an interesting mix of guys who have been up at the major league, had a little bit of careers, and maybe are back here trying to make a second run at it. There's guys like yourself who are, for the first time, coming through the ranks. Maybe you've had a few years in the minor leagues trying to make a go of it. And then you've got young guys like River Ryan, Diego Cartaya, who are sort of flying through the ranks, with maybe some of the prospect type. Like, how do all those guys, what's it like when all those guys get thrown into the same room, on the same bus, on the same plane together?
Well, it's actually refreshing. Last year when I first came up, I felt old as a 26-year-old in AA. And then AAA comes around, I feel like a prospect again.
There you go.
I'm like, thank God. I see all these, wives and kids come in the locker room. I'm like, I'm a young kid again.
Yeah.
This is great.
I love it.
Like, I'm projectable. And but now it's just, I'm still learning things every day from the veterans that have been there for 6-7 years up in the big leagues, and just things to work on, like maybe not wear sleeves outside. Well, maybe wear sleeves outside. But, and then just maybe saying things to the newer guys, saying, hey, maybe, just it's a learning thing, and I'm still learning every day from some of these guys. It's great. But I feel refreshed being up here and ready for that next step to learn. But right now it's a dream.
Awesome. Well, John, I appreciate the time.
Yeah,
best of
thanks for
luck.
having me.
I love
Great
your
seeing you again in
attitude.
person.
I love the approach that you have to this, and so we're rooting for you. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.